Greetings and welcome to Your Greater Experience. We've been speaking on the theme of winning, and today we'll look at the book of Hebrews chapter 12, and we will examine winning in life. Hebrews 12 beginning at verse 1 reads, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God." When I think of winning in life, one of the first principles that jumps out at me is our attitude. As I read about attitude, I ran across a story about an aviation concept called attitude adjuster. On every console of a plane, there is an attitude adjuster. And based upon how the adjuster is read, it determines the trajectory of the plane. If the attitude adjuster is off, then the plane can be set in a descending mode. It's amazing how similar to that attitude adjuster is our own attitude adjuster. God can open up unusual doors for our lives, but if our attitudes are askew, we'll miss it. So the Hebrew writer says, listen, I want to give you some information about winning in life. And we have to understand that winning, it begins with our attitudes. Hebrews chapter 11, the writer defines faith, but he also identifies the faithful. He begins by saying that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That helps me to understand that faith is so important in winning in life. As a matter of fact, I've got to believe that I can win even before I've begun the race. Winning in life, winning in life. So as he makes his way to chapter 12, he opens with this powerful statement. He says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses," the first thing I see is that he gives us godly examples. There are men and women in our very lives who have gone before us, and they have set the example for us, and we have to look to them. For you, it could be a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle, just a caregiver. But God has placed some specific people in your life who have set an example that you can follow, that you can emulate. The Apostle Paul, he told the believers, "Follow me as I follow Christ." Find those godly examples in your life and allow them to be a model for you to follow on your path to winning in life. Not only godly examples, but secondly, there is a godly exchange in the passage. He says, "Let us lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us." Did you catch that? There is a godly exchange that takes place where God can remove the sin and the weights, and he can replace that. He can exchange it with perseverance and patience. He can take away that doesn't look like him, and he can replace it with that looks like him. He can take away the stuff that keeps you from winning in life, and he can give you what you need to win in life. That exchange is important at every juncture of our lives, because we can all testify that as we grow in Christ, there are some things that must fall off. Now, you get to identify what those things are, but I challenge you, be prayerful so that the godly exchange that takes place in your life can really make a difference. So the writer gives us godly examples. He gives us a godly exchange. But then thirdly, he gives us God as our example. Back at your text, he says in verse 2, "Looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God." When I was growing up, it was kind of hard to find heroes. I wasn't really into cartoons, and I was kind of mature for my age, so I thought. It was always hard to find someone I could emulate, an example. And then I began to learn about Jesus the Christ. And I was able to understand that he is God as an example. Jesus came to earth, God in the flesh, to show us how to live, how to interact with others, how to love and to serve. Jesus came to show us how to win. And what I love about Jesus is even when the world thought they had defeated him, he was still winning. So put it all together. Winning in life, it means, first of all, there is godly examples that have been placed in our lives. Men and women who have gone before us to show us how to live. Secondly, there has to be a godly exchange where the old stuff is purged and removed and the new ways in Christ are implanted. But then most importantly, we have God as our example, Jesus the Christ. And what the Hebrew writer says is, look to Jesus. When you find yourself despondent, look to Jesus. When you find yourself frustrated, look to Jesus. And he'll show you how to win in life. God bless.